segment, we're going to be talking about safe investing and retirement planning. We need to understand our financial encoding. We need to change our encoding. There needs to be a paradigm shift on what we've been trained. For example, which of these statements are true? Pay yourself first and save and invest. Why pay off 4% loan when you can make 7% investing? Buy term insurance and invest the difference. You need an emergency fund. You need to budget. Get a 529 plan early to fund college. You need a mortgage to save taxes. To get the best return, you need a financial advisor to invest for you. And you should maximize your 401k plan early. And the last one, which I'm sure is not true, is making more money will make you happy. If you review these, most people would think that these are all true. In reality, these statements are false. Almost everything you have been taught about money and investing keeps you poor while making others rich. And that's what we will discuss today in this segment. You can quickly become financially free when you know the secret of making over 100% return on your money, guaranteed, without risk, and with no tax consequence. How do you do that? What is the secret? When I ask people, what is your mortgage interest rate? Many will say, well, 3.5%, 4%, 5%, or even 6%. Most people think a 5% interest on $3,000 payment means $150 is paid toward the interest that month. In reality, this is completely false. My recommendation is you go to Dr. Calculator, the mortgage calculator, and I like the old one, as you can see in the area above. So we have a $300 home mortgage over 30 years at 4.8%. Now our payment is $1,574. Now we would think the interest of 4.8% on that is $75. But in reality, in each month, 374 of this payment pays the house. But $1,200 goes to interest, not $75. And this confusion, we just don't pay attention to. It's just crazy. In reality, that's over 300% interest. All we need to do is go in and pay another $375. We have saved $1,200 and made over 300% return on our money. This is the best and fastest way to become wealthy, is focus all money that you can put together on paying off your debt. A lot of times we think, well, we need a house because we can write off the interest. In this case, that loan, there was found $14,000 in interest. Now, if we write off the interest, we're going to lose the rest of the standard deduction. And in 2019, the standard deduction is $24,000. That means I can either write off $14,000 for my home interest, or I don't write that off. I just take my $24,000 in standard deduction. So there is no tax deduction. This is just a big hoax to keep you in debt for life. The fastest way to become rich is to pay off debt before you put your money anywhere else. It's that simple. And we talked about the snowball approach to debt reduction. And most people could be out of debt in 5 to 10 years. Completely. Everything. Home, everything. Safe investing and retirement planning. Now, the following investment information I have found to be helpful. I'm not engaged in rendering professional services. If you require personal assistance or advice, seek a competent professional. I specifically disclaim any responsibility for any loss, liability, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence, directly or indirectly, of the use and application of this website. One of my favorite teachers, Warren Buffett, says rule number one, don't lose money. Rule number two, see rule number one. Many people will lose a lot of money doing stupid things, such as get rich fast scheme, day trading, even if you have a system in the market, not paying taxes scheme, paying brokerage and advisory fees, which almost everyone does. Any financial advice or investment opportunity that you do not completely understand, just do not get it. Remember, paying off debt is the secret of becoming financially free. So if we put all these investment opportunities in perspective, remember the money you have in your bank makes no interest. I mean, that's pretty much it. Even if you have a savings account, you might get 0.1%. And the average fixed investor over the last 20 years has only made about 3.88%. Now, your home does go up with inflation and may grow anywhere from 1 to 5% per year. The inflation rate is about 2.4% per year. Short-term bonds are probably about 2.4%, very safe, but they are taxed, the earnings you have. The S&P 500 has averaged about 7.4%, but that is also taxed. And after inflation, it would probably be only worth about 5%. Now, we're going to talk later about your personal bank. And this is where you can get 4 to 6% earned tax-free without risk and without any anxiety or frustration or know anything about the market. And another way to save up to 70% of your money is stop giving advisors and mutual funds company 2 or 3%, which they will take 70% of the money. Paying off debt, we showed you, can make over 100% return your money. If you have a loan, for example, a college school loan that's 8%, it can save you 1,000% return. The book Unshakable by Tony Robbins, he was really getting into this idea. He says the average mutual fund, non-taxable account, you're paying a little over 3% in fees. In a taxable account, you may be paying 4% in fees. And when we realize that, that will take up to 70% of the money that you earn will go to the brokers and not to you. You have to understand that advisors and brokerage and mutual fund managers, these are just salespeople. They're selling a product. Not that they really know anything. They say they have a lot of research. And in reality, they don't even do as well as the S&P 500. They charge 1 to 3% of the entire portfolio, even when you lose money. They will make 50 to 70% of all your gains. They will continually buy and sell stocks, resulting in transaction fees and taxes. They will confuse you with terms such as modern portfolio design, asset allocation, so you don't learn how to invest on your own, which is very simple once you're out of debt. You will do better than 96% of all advisors by just investing on your own through a company like Schwab, where there are no trading fees, in the S&P 500 index or the U.S. total stock market index funds. And we'll talk about that. William Bernstein, a physician, wrote a book, The Investor's Manifesto. In the book, he says, you are engaged in a life and death struggle with the financial service industry. Every dollar in fees, expenses, and spreads you pay them comes directly out of your pocket. Act as if every broker, insurance salesman, mutual fund salesperson, and financial advisor you encounter is a hardened criminal, and stick to low-cost index funds, and you'll just do fine. Here's an example of a brokerage firm, a very well-known brokerage firm, and one of the people I work with owns a large dental practice, and in his practice, he had and put in so much each year, and within over a 6-year period, if he would have just put it in the S&P 500 fund, he would have had an extra $863,881 more than if he just gave it to his advisor to invest his money for him. And you will see that's often. If you go to Dr. Ace's website, drace.com, go under the resources handouts, and you'll find that there's this calculator right here. You can compare what you've done in the market. It's like this. You put in what your opening balance, what money you added, and it kind of calculates things out for you. Another good thing in drace.com is this personal document locator and financial statement that you can tell where everything is. For example, if something happens to you, your spouse will know what your passwords are, where are the wills, what do you want to do with your money, where is your money, where's your gold hidden, all those sort of things. It's kind of a neat little thing that you can fill out each year to make sure you and your spouse know where your spouse knows is and someone that you can trust, just in case something happens to both of you. Estate planning and asset protection checklist. You need a durable power of attorney for finances and healthcare. You should have a standard will. In addition, at least a revocable living trust. Elvis Presley, when he died in '77, his estate was worth about $10 million. And his daughter here, of the 10 million, only got 3 million because he died without a will or a trust. And everything had to go through probate. And that's what happens when you're not prepared and do your checklist. So I remind you, do that. So Charles Schwab, there's zero commissions on stocks, ETFs, and some option trades. And this is probably one of the best companies. Vanguard is also another company I work with. And they will show you how. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everyone's nice. And if you have your money someplace else with a broker, they will just transfer everything over and sell what you have in that, and then you can put it in index funds, low-cost index funds. It's very simple. Once you're debt-free, set up a Charles Schwab account, talk to the agent, and there's usually someone local. Transfer old funds to the new Schwab account. You don't even have to tell your old advisor you're doing it. Sell your old mutual funds and stock at Schwab. Determine any risk tolerance, decide where you want to be. You may want to be in the money market account. Put cash into the Schwab money market account and wait for a 10% drop in the S&P or the U.S. stock market. That's the time to buy. The time not to buy is when it's reaching its all-time highs like it has recently. So you look at risk tolerance. Because once you're debt-free, you don't have to take risk anymore. I mean, you can live well on the money you make and put money safely away where I'm going to show you how to do that. So the pillow test, when you lay your head on the pillow at night and you are thinking about the stocks in your portfolio, reduce the amount of equities or stocks in your portfolio until you can fall asleep peacefully. And why not? Why risk it? There have been stock cycles, which means there have been long bull markets and long bear markets where the market has not gone up for years. I mean, it wasn't from 29 to 49, it only went up about 1.2%. 66 to 82 is like a negative 1.9%. Then they had a nice jump in this last bear market we have been from 2000 to 2013. They had drops of, um, 50% from 2000 to 2007. In this lost decade, as they called it, from 2000 to 2013, there was little difference in what was earned, and the S&P remained the same for those 13 years. But now we've had our all-time high, and of course, back in 2000, we had an all-time high, and in 2007, And each time it dropped 50%. So we don't know where things are. The key is let's don't rely upon the market. I think we can rely upon the market if we're just in something very simple like the S&P 500 index fund and only buy when there's 10% or greater drop in the market into the S&P 500. Notice over the past 2 years how crazy the market is. I mean, this will get your heart rate up and get just think a loss of 20% in Christmas Eve in 2018. And this is a normal heart rate. And if you go in the market and you put everything in the market, this is what your heart rate's going to look like. Asset allocation, a lot of brokers say, well, you need so much in large cap, so much in small cap, US bonds, treasuries, cash, and whatever. And they use this basically to confuse you. But it's very, very simple. You just need to put it in the S&P 500 if you're going to invest in the market. Typically, this report by Dalbar found that 3.88% was the average return in the market with all those ups and downs. So we keep asset allocation safe and simple. Let me show you how that works. Once you have your debt paid off, a majority of your money is in paid off debt. I mean, your house is paid for, and that becomes like a long-term inflation protected bond, which means you have it, it keeps going up with inflation, and the money you would be spending to pay off that debt is money you have available, which you get to keep. So it's like making money. The same thing with your business, once that's paid off, or a building that you own, once that's paid off. So you want 80 to 90% of your total assets in safe, inflation-adjusted assets, such as your home, your building, your paid-off business or practice, steady income. And you can have some in a Schwab money market account. But the big thing that I'm going to be talking about is the use of a personal bank, and what really is that? All you need to know is that maybe only 10 to 20% of the money can be put into the market because you won't need it anymore when you're debt free. Why not be able to go and place it in a place that gets 4 to 6% return tax free, and you can take it out tax free? So eventually, you will put more money into cash value into this personal bank, which is really a high cash value whole life insurance, and we'll talk about that. So retirement planning is simple. Pay off all your debts, contribute your match if you have a retirement, and then create a personal bank. And we'll talk more about that. So there is a big retirement lie. A problem with investing in a 401k is taxes are deferred, not eliminated. And you'll still have paid money when you take it out. But the tax rate may even be as much as 50%. We just don't know. So you never know what money you're going to have when you retire. You could lose 50 to 70% if you put it in these mutual funds we talked about and have hardly anything. You cannot get your money until age 59 and a half without a penalty. Basically, all that money is in prison, and you're stuck there. You can't use it for any opportunities. You must take a minimum distribution at 70 and a half or pay a real large penalty, so you have to take it out. You cannot write off losses in a 401k. The government can change these rules at any time or even charge you more money to take it out. As an owner, if you're an owner, you must pay fees and expenses and plans, plus pay for all your employees. Now, I compared here the same amount of money over 30 years. I putting in $100,000 initial balance and putting in $100,000 a year in as a business person, and paid the tax on it. And then when I compared my 401k with my taxable account, the taxable account, the $7,000 I paid long-term capital gains instead of 30%, um, basically income tax rate, personal income tax rate, the taxable account actually came out better over a period of time, earning the same amount of interest. So take advantage of non-IRA accounts. Uh, they're qualified dividends, long-term capital gains. You can write off losses. You can withdraw money without penalty anytime, easy to access. And the government just does not have control of your investments. Now, John Bogle wrote a book, Clash of Cultures. In the old days, when he was coming up, it was more about investing in the market and for long term. And then more people got into speculation, and that's what gives us these ups and downs. And this is where money is lost, and people are getting in and out of the market. That is where money is lost. We want to be able to invest in for the long term. And the trouble is, he says we were like forced capitalists. We have to be in the market to make money. No, you do not. So here's a place where you can put money and never worry about the market again. It's called creating your own personal bank.